Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. I am your girl, Davina, and I am so happy to finally be back doing interviews. I would say I was slacking, but I really wasn't slacking. Like, this was an intentional break, just to kind of regroup and get myself back in order. And I just want to encourage anybody, if you feel you need a break from certain parts in your life, do so. Take the rest you need, restore your mind, your heart, your body, everything, and get back to business. So tonight, I'm so excited to be getting back to business and starting these Divinely Crowned conversations back up. And tonight I have my divine guest, the brand queen herself, the branding queen herself, Jzakaala. So I'm going to be bringing her on here in a minute. But before I do, I just want to remind you guys, to like this video, share this video. If you're listening later on, make sure you are subscribing to the podcast on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, subscribing to Divinely Crowned on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all the things. Also, for those who follow me on social media, I want to remind you that I just launched my very first digital bundle. Listen, this thing took a lot of time. And actually, Jzakaala is one of the ones that helped me. So we'll talk about it tonight. But I'm so excited. It is the Self-Love Bundle. It comes with an ebook with 5 royal keys to building confidence, a journal to, just help you just self-discover, and also some affirmations to just continue to love up on yourself. Divinely Crowned is all about self-love and confidence. So I poured my heart into this digital bundle for those who need some inspiration. We are in self-love summer is what I'm calling it. Today is the first day of summer. So make sure you go and get your digital bundle today while it is only $37. Okay. But without further ado, I am going to bring Jzakaala onto the screen. And remember to be in the chat. We love to talk to our viewers and, get some feedback. So make sure you are in the comments chatting with us tonight. So let me bring her on. Hello.
What's going on?
Hey, girl. So, Jzakaala, yes. So, Jzakaala, welcome, my divine guest. So, before we start, I want you to just introduce yourself to the people.
Hey everyone. So I know a lot of people know me but for those who don't know me, my name is Jzakaala. I own a branding company called Luxurry Studios. I'm a brand designer, and I just transferred over to a branding coach. So now we got a design studio and we got brand coaching. So anytime you need any type of branding, y'all know who to call.
Yes, you definitely do. And I always like to give a background of pretty much like how I met know my divine guest. And for Jzakaala, I was just actually thinking about dang, how long have we been friends on social media? And it's been maybe since the pandemic. I feel like I think I started following you because, I'm a business owner, have a brand. So I'm just liking to make sure I'm following people that are, like-minded and that I can get inspiration from. So I believe it was probably through my other divine guest, billionaire Brooklyn, who kind of was highlighting you a lot. And I'm like, okay, I really like her, what she got going on. I started getting inspired by you. Your brand colors are similar to mine because we royal with the purple. Right. And so I just okay, I want to stay connected. And then I ended up taking you and Brooklyn's digital Boss Challenge back in September, which actually I did it on my birthday, which September 23rd was one of the days. I was like, okay, for my birthday, I'm just going to invest in myself. So all the knowledge you have given me with that. And then just most recently, if you guys see my Instagram and my Facebook, it's looking real royal, okay? And way different. And that is thanks to Jzakaala's expertise on just revamping my social media and making it more of, my authentic self. So she's been very helpful on this journey that I'm on. So I wanted to have her on. I told her, I'm like, listen, this is not a business podcast. But we are definitely going to talk about her business and highlight that. But Jzakaala, as you know from watching other podcasts of mine or episodes, this podcast is all about talking about our journeys, where we come from, where we're at, and where we're going. So tonight, that is what I want to do. I want to highlight you, and maybe even, and hopefully, which I know you will, give some wisdom to other women out there that, are entrepreneurs, and you're a mom. So I just wanted to highlight you and, see if you could drop some gems on us tonight. So
yes, listen, I try my best,
Yes. You too. I believe in you. So we always like to start at the beginning of where Jzakaala comes from. Who was young Jzakaala? So take me back there.
Listen, young Jzakaala was that girl still.
Okay.
No, seriously. Okay, so I came from the same place as you. You from Erie, right?
Yes.
You're from Erie.
Born and raised and still here.
Girl, listen. So, come from Erie, as you know, small city. Not too much going on. It's not too much going on. Came from Erie. I went to public school for I would say until 8th grade. No, I was in 8th grade at a private school. So I did public school till 8th grade. Okay. 8th grade private school. Then I went to Villa. I went to another private school. And from there, I've gained knowledge to put me to where I am today. So for example, when I was in school, I was taking graphic design classes. I was doing speaking classes. I was doing all I always knew what I wanted to do. Yeah. So I was doing things that helped me get there. But being in that little city, I'm like, I can't. I have to leave. I have to get away. And then I went to a Catholic all-girls school. Okay. And it was just it was good for, the knowledge. And
was that in Erie?
All of that, but I had to get away and really find myself by going to an all-black people school, HBCU. Okay. Meet new people, get out the small city of Erie and just explore and figure out what I wanted to do for my life, because Erie was not it.
Erie was not it. So you were in Erie most of your younger life?
Yes, I'm from Erie.
And real quick, I have Lamario. Let me make sure. He said, I'm so excited. Hi, cousin Jzakaala. I miss you so much. Hey. So are you an only child, or you have siblings, or?
I'm the first child. I'm not the only child.
Okay.
I'm the first child. I'm probably my mom's best child. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. Listen. I would say that I'm the first child. I'm the firstborn. The pressure of being the firstborn, you always gotta set the expectation. So I always was setting the expectations that I was doing it good. I mean, honor student, getting scholarships, doing. I love it. My sisters used to be like, "Yo, can you chill? Because we cannot keep up with this." They used to be our parents want us to do what you're doing, and it's just I just always, I just always had to be the person they look up to. So still, but I'm not the only child. I have, oh Lord, don't let me get to that. I have a younger sister. I have 3 younger sisters and a brother.
Okay. So with you talking about, you had the expectations. Do you ever feel like, you had pressure because I know my sister has her stories of being the oldest, and my daughter now is the oldest. So it's do you ever feel wow, I can't mess up because I'm the oldest and I got to make sure that I'm doing things right? Or was it just kind of natural? Which it seems like it was kind of natural. Honestly,
but yeah, it's kind of natural.
I love it.
I know that I had it's always pressure because it's somebody people my siblings want to look up to me, and I know that I had a responsibility to do as the oldest child. But I'm always, since I was little, I've always been big on my name. I've always been you're not gonna find me out here. Nothing is gonna be attached to Jzakaala unless it's good. I've always been big on my name and how I carry myself. So I just feel that kind of helped me too, because it's not so much of pressure of, because other people look up to me, it's who I want to be as well. You know what I mean? So it was, they my sister tell me all the time, like, girl, you doing too much. Like, mom want me to do this, dad want me to do this because you
Oh.
outshining. And it's just I
And what
gotta
do
do
you
it.
tell them like when they say that? Like,
Listen, all my siblings are great. We all are talented in our own ways. So it's like I'm like the scholar girl, like the nerd, and then my sister is
mm,
like the creative. Then my other
mm,
sister is like she's the athlete. So it's like we all great in our own ability. It's just that my ability, because I'm the oldest, they expect it. You know what I mean?
yes,
But
yes. I
they're
love it.
great.
Well, and it sounds like you have a great relationship with your siblings to be able to even encourage and lift each other up in that way, because sometimes we don't have that. Like, I'm blessed to have that too. You know, the second oldest of four children, so I know we've all had our journeys and trying to find ourselves, but it's nice to now, even as adults, we were just at a family function. It's just like, wow, like, look at us all, like, doing
Yeah.
well. Like, all three of my siblings are married. Some of them have children, like business owners. And it's just like nice to be able to have those siblings and that legacy and
Yeah.
that generation of just excellence in your own way. So I love also that you just talked about how, even from a young age, you're like, I didn't want anything negative attached to my name. I know who I wanted to be and things like that. And that stood out to me because I feel like in our generation now, this younger generation is really trying to find who they are.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
there's a lot. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, wow, like I can only imagine what I would be like. I was a insecure girl growing up. So I was very outgoing, but I was insecure. And so, like, hearing you say, like, from a young age, like, you were like, I knew I was that girl. Like, I knew what I wanted for my life. Like, I commend you for that. And I want to ask, like, what would you tell young girls? Like, if you saw a young Jzakaala, maybe that wasn't like that, like, what would you tell her?
Oh my God, that's a good question. Honestly, I would just say like because I never like went with the crowd. Like you
Mm,
just always gotta be yourself. Like especially in high school, I was around girls who were not like me.
mhm.
And it would be so easy to just want to do what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's the wave or that's what everybody doing. But I would say really just like it's all like a self journey. Like
Mhm.
I can't really tell people like how to find themselves. It's just a
Yeah.
journey that they're gonna have to, do on their own. But I would definitely say like create your own wave.
Mhm.
Don't follow what other people are doing seriously. And then people do that and they start to get unhappy at a young age because they're following things that they know is not for
Mhm.
them, but they're doing it because it's cool or you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying, other people doing
Yeah.
it. Um and it's really hard. I come from a very supportive family, so that's another thing as well. Like anything that I have my mind on to do, I would tell my parents on my, and they would be like, "Okay, let's do it," or "That's a
Mhm.
good idea," or so that builds up as well. A lot of people don't come from supportive people, like
Yeah.
families and things like that, who actually want to hear their ideas or want them to implement them. So I'm very blessed in that aspect too. So
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and I totally agree with that too. Like, I was always the one growing up that it was like, I had both my parents in the household, they're married, they're high school
mhm.
sweethearts, and we go to church, and it was like I would see my other friends like, wow, like I wish you could have this. And like, and we are blessed to have that support, like that is
Definitely.
like, no, we got you no matter what, and it's stuff like that. So what would you, and I know you kind of said it like with as far as like, kind of create your own wave, but like I guess when it comes to that support, when somebody doesn't have that support, and I don't even know if you might know, what would you tell somebody who doesn't have that support? Because I'm all about telling people to like create their own community, but like, what would you tell somebody, especially being, you're a brand, you teach people how to do their brands and things like that, and I'm sure you run into people that might not have that support as they're building their business. So, what is something you kind of tell them when they're not having that, they don't have that support?
So honestly, I would say so. I'm gonna be real with you.
Hmm.
So because we're in the city of Erie, like I had friends, like I have a best friend, but I didn't have really always have like a group of friends. I was always the one who was like standoffish. Da, da, da.
Hmm.
So I've always like created my own environment inside of my head, inside of Erie until I got out.
Wow.
So let me just to make that clear.
Nah, go
I'm like, what the hell?
ahead.
So like social media was a big help to me. I
Mm,
was um I was on Instagram. That's when I was in Erie, I was a kid. I was on Instagram was totally different. It was not all
mm,
about a lifestyle or it was really about like connections, being in groups, and like, things like that, posting
mhm,
like real good moments and stuff. So I used to always connect with people outside of
mm,
my environment to really help
mhm,
me because sometimes you don't have the support around you, but it's a whole world out there who, vibes with what you do or wants to do the same
mhm.
things you want to do or even comes from somewhere like you come from. So I've always like kind of left the whole negative environment or the environment I didn't want to be in, and try
Yeah.
to reach out other places. You know what I mean?
Mhm, mhm.
And even do things that like make me happy. Like I used to do like painting and drawing and like just doing, you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
it's like a finding yourself type of thing,
Yeah.
figuring out what you
That
want
was
to
good.
do.
Yeah,
So
for
yeah, I
sure.
just used to just connect with like like my Instagram. Oh my god, I was in like I was in like eighth, ninth grade with like 20K followers on Instagram, connected and just talking to people and
I
just
love that.
vibing with people outside of my city until I've been able to, move and change.
Yeah.
So
And I love how you kind of highlighted social media because we are in the world of social media now. And we're probably never going to not be in the world of social media, but for
right.
you to kind of say, like, I use social media as a way to connect. Like, we have online dating and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but it's almost like online creating your own communities and friends. And I even feel like I've created friendships and relationships with people from Instagram that it's like we're cheering
Mhm.
each other on. Never met each other a day in our life, but we're cheering each other on. We are able to talk about certain things. I have had phone calls with certain people, and it's like, yes, there's a whole world outside of your community, your city, that you can connect with people, and they can be literally become your family. Like I have one of I call her my sister. We've never met yet, but have had a relationship
Look,
with each other
same
for
with us.
years.
Like, we
Yeah,
connected on social media and I feel like we know each other. I did the
I
same with
know.
Brooklyn. Like I've never hung out with her in person, but it's just been phone calls, videos,
Yes.
Facebook. Like you could connect with people. Like when I was in high school, I used to be FaceTiming my friends and you know what I'm saying? So it's just you just gotta find
You
yeah,
gotta take a chance. Like it just
yeah,
sounds like you're like, take a chance. And it's almost like don't have that barrel, like crab in a barrel mentality or that closed minded mentality, because as much as like social media can be this drama filled thing, there's a lot of beauty and there's so much
yes,
power in social media. And even you saying these connections you've created, like even us, it can happen, but you really have
right.
to be open minded to it. Take that
Absolutely.
chance.
Yes, definitely take that chance. You never know what can happen. I took chance with a lot of people on social media. I've taken so many chances to where like I'm meeting people. I went to Atlanta, had, lunch with somebody I met
Yeah.
online. Like I went to Texas, met up with somebody who I met up online, like good friends that I still
Yeah.
talk to this day. So definitely all about
Yes. Oh,
connection.
that's some. I feel like that was a good gem. Like I feel like
Yeah.
somebody needed to hear that because
Yeah.
I see people post like how I want to make new friends or like I'm about to like slide in her DMs and be her friend. Like do it because you never
Yeah.
know where it can
But you know
lead. Like
what?
to a good connection.
A lot of people have that, no new friends mentality when really it's some friends out there who would want to do what you want to do and connect with you. You just have to be open enough.
Yes.
Everybody's so like, I don't trust people and did it, because past traumas and past
Mm-hmm.
things. But sometimes you just got to be like, if you really want to make friends, you really want to make new connections, not even just friends, connections,
Yeah.
period. It's a whole world out there. Like, you don't have to be confined to one area to try to make friends. Like I said, I fly to meet friends and travel to meet friends and even being in college, I got friends in New York, freaking
Yes.
Texas, Atlanta. So anytime I need to go down, I'm like, hey friend, what you doing? I'm about to come. Da, da, da. And it's like that.
Yeah.
So it's like you
Yeah.
can use that to
No,
your
that's
advantage.
oh my gosh, that's so funny. I was literally just thinking about this the other day because I went out with actually she was one of my divine guests and we went out for her birthday and I was just thinking of just like the years. Like I'm always making new connections and I'm always telling these people that I end up being friends with, like, I'm so glad we met. Like, even if it's this part of your journey or like there's so many people that I don't talk to on a regular basis, but randomly will hit me up like, I'm thinking of you. I see you. I'm cheering you on. It's like, no, you want to create those new friends. And actually, Jaleesa, one of my other divine guests, she said, find your tribe. That applies to social media too, from both a business and
Absolutely.
personal standpoint. So true. And it's like, I'm like,
Absolutely.
sometimes I wonder if like people like, dang, Davina always like got somebody, but I'm like, but you don't know what connections I've made, what conversations, how we've helped each other, how we support each other through life. So yeah, that no new friends, that is
That's
that
out.
out the window. Listen, and another thing with that is if you don't trust people, you got to learn to trust yourself and also learn from those people that might have hurt you in the past. Like you don't constantly have to feel like everybody's going to screw you over. Everybody's going to tell your business. And also learn how to create boundaries. I think that's a lot of it too.
Yes.
If you know, okay, this is my friend that I can confide in. I know my business is safe with them. This is my friend that I can hang out with and go to
Yeah, and
brunch
I'm not
with.
telling
Like,
her none of my business, but I'm
right.
hang
Like, I'm not gonna tell her, but there's a connection there that I like. Like there's all different types of categories of friends. So it's like, don't be so close-minded. We have Janessa, another one of my divine. I love that y'all coming on here as I'm coming back to the
Yes, let's go.
Yes. Janessa said, we're so happy we connected with you too, boo. I'm so grateful for your capturing those moments for us this weekend. Right. I was taking pictures of everybody. I'm like, and this next day I'm like, here's the pictures I was taking of y'all for these memorable moments. So I love that. That was a good gem. And I feel like somebody needed to hear about that friendship part because it is so true.
Absolutely.
So when did you move out of Erie?
So I moved out of Erie. Oh my God. As soon as I graduated high school, I got accepted to college. I was out. I ain't look back. 2016, when I graduated June, I went to college in August.
Wow.
First of all, I visited my college twice in that time frame to make sure I actually liked it, and it was the one for me. August, by the end of August, I was out, and I ain't looked back ever since.
Oh
And I
my.
like the only thing that I'm really blessed for, not really the only thing, but the main thing I'm blessed for is that moving to college is easy when you're moving out of state because you don't have to look for a house, like you learn the environment while you're there. You get to know people while you're there. So after the 4 years of college, I already know the area. Like I know the area, I know where I want to move. I got saved up to move. So I would say that's a good plus in addition to me and all these people. But yeah, girl, after the high school, oh, I was out. I was not feeling Erie. I was so depressed, and I was ready to go. I said, I can't do this no more. Something got to change now.
And for you to say that at such a young age, and I know you're how old are you?
I just turned 25.
Happy. Oh yes, you did. Happy belated birthday. That was like last week. Well, you almost there, girl. You almost to 30. 30 is fire. Don't let no one tell you different, okay? But either way, so like even from a young age, you saying that, and then even the fact that you were like, going to college and being able to like experience that the world you wanted to be in outside of Erie. So like what would you tell somebody? Because I know college nowadays, people don't need to go to college a lot more than back in the day. So like, what would you tell somebody we just had graduation, like some of these young kids are still trying to figure out what they're going to do. And you being not only a business owner, but also having a degree, like what would you tell somebody about even going to college?
This is a great question. Okay. So I wouldn't say that people shouldn't go to college or don't need to go to college only because yes, people may think college is a scam, but you get so many benefits. Well, for one, I have my marketing degree. I'm still doing what I want to do in my field. I'm just not doing it for a company. And two, being in a small city like we were in a little environment, if you want a change of environment, go out there. College is full of connections. It's not all about the education. It's about the experiences. When I'm talking about parties, I'm talking about networking, I'm talking about people, I'm talking about like college changed my perspective on a lot of things.
Mm.
And then it's just like I said, experience. So I had got, I met so many different people by being invited to conferences, fashion shows, just
Yeah.
just being around not entrepreneurs, but college students who want the same thing as you. They're
Mm-hmm.
dressed in suits, they're dressed in business attire, or just looking good. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
just like a whole fresh environment, a fresh feeling. Like just networking. It ain't even always about, the degree or the education. While that's a good part of it, you're
Mm-hmm.
paying for it, but you also got to get that college experience. Like the whole
Experience.
point of me really going to college was to be able to get out of my city and explore more.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that if I would have stayed in Erie, first of all, I wouldn't even stayed. If I didn't go to college, I wouldn't even stayed in Erie. I probably would have been it somewhere. I couldn't when I say I couldn't do it, but but that's to say, like, just for like an environment change, I feel like that helped me because, like I said, I didn't have to save up a lot of money to
Mm-hmm.
move, or I didn't have to, you know, just have a plan. I was going to college and I'll
Yeah.
figure it out there. Like, so I would definitely say like college is still a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
You get your degree, you get to experience things, but you gotta, when you get to college though, you have to want to experience things. You can't be
Mm-hmm.
cooped up in your room. You can't not want to connect with people. You can't just hold your head down and go to class, because then you're not gonna like college. That's not what
Yeah.
college is about.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to tell my sister because she hated college. I'm like, girl, you don't do nothing. You don't go outside. You know, like, what are you doing? This is why you're not liking it. I'm over here having a ball. I'm in
Yeah.
parties, networking events. I didn't got they flew me out to Atlanta for a conference
Oh
and I
my
met people all over the
goodness.
world. So it's like I'm vibing. Yeah, I'm getting internships. I worked at Richmond Magazine in college. I worked at TikTok. Like I had good
Oh my
internships. So
gosh.
yeah. So I'm like, you just, but I'm saying that to say you really have to put yourself out there. Me, like
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted more. So I've always
Mm-hmm.
figured out a way to put myself out there. Even when I was scared, I didn't know nobody. I moved there by myself. I didn't know anybody. First thing I did, I joined the org. I went to org is an organization like full of different things. I
Mm-hmm.
joined the org. It was a modeling org. I didn't know anybody, but I joined a family and I got to know a family full of like 72 people.
Oh my
And we did
gosh.
fashion shows together. We did modeling, like dancing, all of that. And then I joined another org where I know more people. So it's like I'm expanding my people around. Now
Yeah.
I have hella friends, hella, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
love it. I
so you just
love
got to get out
it.
there.
That's so beautiful. So it's
Yeah,
really like you're saying like you what you put out is what you're going to get back, and it's like you're like
absolutely.
you got to take those chances, take those risks, and we have so much life to be lived, and like girl, for 25 I feel like you've lived a lot of life. Like I was a
Yeah.
mom all my 20s. So it's like I'm just now experiencing, I feel like, a lot of life. And so just to
Mm.
hear you say, like, listen, I lived and I'm living and I have these experiences and these connections. I support going to I do support going to college. My daughter, which you said you went to HBCU.
Yes, best decision of my life.
My daughter, she's only 10, but she's like, that's where I'm going. She is so, I was like, just thinking
Listen,
about that. I'm like, she's so pro-Black.
yes,
She loves all
the
things about
vibe
being
is
Black.
so different. Like I went to I'm white people, I'm gonna say it,
Go
school.
ahead.
And that transition from that to going to HBCU was like, wow, this is my vibe. This is my people.
Yeah,
Like, this is it. Like that whole I was like, yup.
I
Mm-hmm.
love
She's
it.
gonna love it. She's gonna
Yeah,
love it.
she and I believe I'm like, listen, I already know. Let me get my money ready now, or she's gonna get scholarships. I'm just speaking in the atmosphere, but she talks about it all the time, and I'm like, I support. We watch. I remember, like those movies, not like Drumline and stuff. I'm like, dang, I wish I would have went
Yeah,
to an all Black college or even an all Black school. I know it's different, and
most
I know the
definitely.
culture is so. Like, why don't you like tell about the experience of HBCU?
Well, it's just great.
Like
Well,
what? So what if? Because like I said, we're in the season. I don't know why I'm saying this. Maybe somebody's struggling with somebody's child struggling where they want to go. But like, what do you feel like as a black girl, black woman? Like, what do you feel like made it so great?
okay, so like I said earlier, it's just like the environment for one, being around people who want good things. A lot of times we're not around a lot of black people who want more, like a good environment for people who showing up for themselves. You got people
Mm-hmm.
going to classes, you got people applying for internships, you got people speaking. It's just good to see that it's possible. You got people working for big huge companies, getting nominated by Forbes and Fortune
Mm-hmm.
500 companies. Like, you got all these great things that you're seeing, and sometimes all you need to do is see, like, it's
Mm-hmm.
possible. So I would just say being in that environment, and then like the black people culture, we got our own little culture, right?
Yes.
And we connect differently than anybody else
Yeah.
around us. So you know what I'm saying? So it's just like the feeling and the vibe of all of that, from
Mm-hmm.
like football games to stuff on the yard to even how people dressing. Like, when I say
Mm-hmm.
fashion show, I used to
I
be like,
love
whoa,
it.
I gotta step my cookie. People used to call me, so I was in the modeling org. That's where my name Luxury came from, because people used to
Okay.
always call me bougie, because
Okay.
I was in a modeling org, though. I had to wear heels everywhere, or on Wednesdays, like I had to dress up like we were some girls. So it's like we had to do that. But um yeah, so it's just the whole environment. You just gotta experience it. I don't know
Yes.
how else. And even like the
Somebody who is
Greeks,
struggling. It's time to go to
yeah,
HBCU.
even like the Greeks, I didn't pledge, but even just like seeing, like, the Greek culture and
Hmm.
different organizations and all of that, it's just like,
Yes.
wow, like,
Yeah.
this is
Speaking
lit.
of Greek, it's so funny. I'm wearing pink and green, and I got some AKA friends out there. And today I was like, I really feel like I'm an AKA. I've thought
Oh
about it. Like, I look at them and I'm like, dang, should I? But I got
yeah.
too much going on to be trying to
Yeah.
pledge for somebody. I love it. So I kind of want to go backwards because, like, you talking about how, like, from a young age, like, you knew who you were and things like that. Like, where did that come from? Like, is that just something you feel you were born with? Was it your fit? Like, where did that come from? And when did
Honestly.
you know? Wait, what age was it?
Honestly, I feel like I just knew. And it's my family, like my dad and my mom, like, oh my gosh, they
Mm,
are the people who make it happen. Sometimes I don't even know how the hell they did it. I'd be like, bro, y'all got superpowers
yeah.
or something. And like my dad too, like, he's so, I don't even know. He's just so like, first of all, the hustler part. He, I like, when I did my lash business, I laid him the blueprint. He was like, okay, how much you want?
I love
Like,
it.
so it's always like it's like always a supportive thing. And it's just watching that from my parents, like, that's instilled in them to always
Hmm.
be hustling, go get it. They both, businesses, real estate, all type of stuff. Like, they had their hands to everything. So it's just like, it's just it's just watching, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And
Yes.
learning. Like,
Yes. And so
mhm.
you're a mom. So like how do you feel like that has prepared you like for being a mom?
Honestly, I know it's, I don't even look. Being a mom is so new to me still. I be calling my mama like, look, when you doing this? Like, what? But I mean, I love being a mom and everything, but I know that things that they instilled in me, I instill in my son. Like,
Mhm.
just even like getting up and just doing stuff and just like positive words and believing
Mhm.
in him. I know that
Mm.
that's already a go. Like, just,
Yeah.
being like a positive person. I didn't have too much trauma with my parents. Like, my parents,
Mhm.
I didn't have, like, I don't hate my parents. I don't have no resentment towards them. Like, I
Mhm.
I grew
Mhm.
up in a healthy, yeah, of course they did some things I didn't like. And you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't have anything to like I'm resenting my parents. We've all got a good bond. Like, I'm in group chats with my mom. We talk every single day. If she don't hear
Yes.
from me a day, she's texting me like, "What is you doing?" My dad too. He calling me. What's up? Where's Aiden? Like, we very locked in and very
Yeah.
like tight. And I want that to be, with my son, because a lot of people can't do that. They can't call their
Mhm.
parents. they can't, asking parents for money, advice. Like they can't do none of that. I can still do all of that with my
Yeah.
parents. So I
Yeah.
want to make sure that my son is able to do the same thing. And I'm gonna be rich. So my son will be extra
I
spoiled.
know that. Say that.
Listen,
Okay. I love it.
he's gonna
And
be extra spoiled.
I love it. So even talking about, because I had one of my guests, Lindsay, I believe was, she said kind of the same thing. She's like, listen, I didn't have trauma, like, and I think because there are so many people that do come from, broken homes, there's trauma, there's things that we forget that it's okay if you didn't. Like, I know sometimes it's almost like you feel bad that you didn't have a struggle situation and stuff like that. And it's like, no, that's a blessing. And
Yeah.
you can still be an inspiration to others. Like, look, you come from a very great family. You have a great story behind your family, and you're able to still make a positive impact on people. And that's great. You know what I mean? So even just hearing you say that, and like I said, there's people out there who are like, I mean, there's the little things my parents, like maybe they were a little stricter than I wish they were, but I don't have that trauma. And it's a blessing to be able to have that and now be able to pass that down to the next generation, which is your child and stuff like that, because we do have a lot of broken homes and we do have a lot of people that are like, listen, I didn't know what it was like to have love and things like that. So to be able to now pass it down, and then prayerfully your son passes that down to his, so that generational wealth. I just saw a thing was like, generational wealth isn't just finances, it's mental health, it's having a healthy mindset and things like that. So you being able to pass that down is beautiful.
And I will say, like, it was perfect because, like, my parents, they were married, but they got divorced when I was like 2. But I was so young, like, I don't know. But they made sure that even though they weren't talking, like, they did have a little, battle or whatever. But I still had a relationship with my mom, and I still had a relationship with my dad. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like no funny business. Like, we still was able to, even though we weren't like a family film anymore, we were still able to move,
Yeah. Yes,
good,
most definitely. Yes, that's a blessing. So you talk about, you're still learning this mom thing. How old is your son?
2 going on 30.
Yeah.
He drives me insane. I don't know.
Listen, I got a 10 and 8-year-old. I get it. And I've been saying it more and more. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I have my 2. I said, now that I have this business, I was like, God bless you younger people that have a child and a business, because I don't know how I want to do it.
I had to put him to sleep to hop on this podcast. I'm like, he better not wake up while I'm on this podcast.
Listen,
talking about some juice.
Give
me some juice.
So tell me, as a young mom who's still trying to figure it out and also run a business, like, what has been that journey been like?
Oh my gosh, it's hard. It's hell. Yeah. Like, why didn't nobody tell me about this? What was I thinking?
Being a parent is ghetto.
Listen, it's so ghetto. Like, what? Anyway, but yeah, so like, I mean, it's a blessing, like, to be able to work from home and take care of my baby, but it's also a struggle because I be on calls, I be having to do certain web design work or client work and figure out things in my business. It's like I still need to give him attention as well. So it's like trying to find a good balance between paying attention to him and getting some work done. So that's why, like, recently, like, on my design business, people are not gonna be able to work with me anymore. Like, I'm pulling myself back from the business and focusing on coaching. They're gonna get design from Luxury Studios, but Jzakaala will not be touching another website.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. I literally,
for you though, for like a star, for like a person who been waiting on me, yes. But I'm saying, like, other people, like, we will still get good work, but me, because it's so hard to, like, balance me, and then, like, I'm not a daycare person these days. Like, I'm already not from this area. I don't know what daycare is good, and I see so much things on the news down here with daycares. It's like, no, I will literally go crazy about my baby. So I'm just thugging it out, and plus he learns a lot here at home. Like, he's not stupid. He learns some stuff. Look at his mama. I mean, come on.
Listen.
Like, he learns some stuff, but it's just hard trying to, I would say, balance everything and just keep your head on straight. Like, I be on call, he be screaming or wanting something. It's just trying to balance everything. Like, oh my goodness, why nobody it was crazy.
What do you feel like you've learned about yourself as a mom and an entrepreneur?
I've learned that it takes a lot of patience and it takes
Mhm.
a village. That's the main thing. Patience with him, with me. Cause listen, this is new to me too, and I'm learning a lot of stuff. We both had patience with each other. Cause I would look at him when he was a baby, like, "You screaming?
Yeah.
I should be
We
screaming."
gonna scream together.
So just patience and just, oh my gosh,
Mm.
like.
Yeah, lots of it.
And it takes a village because if it
Yeah.
wasn't for my mama and my sister moved to Atlanta, but when she was here, she was a big help. Like, oh my gosh, I would probably break
Mhm.
my hair out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I tell people it's so funny because I live with my parents and I've been living with my parents for some years now. And I remember when I first moved back, like I felt like a failure. Like I'm like, people don't do
Girl,
this.
listen,
Like
hold on.
what? I said, I don't care. I will scream from the rooftop. I live with my parents. They are the best support system. Like, and I
And
love it.
that's
Listen,
good.
I probably would not have been able to start this business if it wasn't for living with them. And for what? Like, I will
Yes,
move
and
out when
that's
I'm ready.
and you
Like,
know what's crazy? It's all about like other people's opinions and stuff like
mm-hmm.
that. Because listen, I tell you, if I could move back with my parents, I don't know if I say that though, because they get on my nerves sometimes.
Oh, that mine too.
Sometimes it's like, okay, I gotta get away from you. But on
Mine
top of
do
like
too.
the financial part, it's
Yes.
like, bro,
Yeah.
oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, I could be saving so much,
So
especially
much.
living where I'm living right now. Like, I just can't. Like, I just be like, how the
Listen.
hell am I even doing this? Because it's so much hitting me at one time. You
Mm-hmm.
got personal bills, you got business bills, you got being a mom, you got
Mm-hmm.
I be trying to meet with clients. It's so much stuff to juggle. But when you have like that good support system, oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. No, legit. Like, I'm like, it's so fun. I'd be like, and I was embarrassed, like, for what? Like,
Mm-mm.
like you said, like if you could move back, you would. Like yes. Is it challenging at times? Because it's like,
Yes.
listen, I am a grown adult with 2 kids,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's nice to have that support system. My kids are in a healthy environment. Like they're able to grow up with their grandparents and have that
That's a
really
blessing.
good connection. So it's like I don't mind it, and it's a blessing, especially like you said, raising a children. It's a actually my sister and her husband and my nephew live next door to us.
Oh,
So
the whole
it's a village
family.
be villaging, okay? Yes. So what would you I know I said what did you learn about yourself, but like I feel like we don't always have conversations about motherhood. And
Mhm.
that's just something I do want to talk more about because even like, I don't know if you went through postpartum or just even learning things. Like, what would you tell a new mom that's getting ready to do this thing and maybe has a business or is doing this alone? Anything like, what advice do you wish somebody would have told you besides patience that you can give to somebody else?
I would definitely say take it easy on yourself. I was blessed enough not to go through postpartum, but I feel like
Mhm,
part of why is because I didn't have to focus on everything by myself. I had my
mhm,
mom, I had my sister, I had like support. But I would definitely say like you got to take it easy on yourself. Not I would say try to have a plan before
mhm.
you even have the baby so that
Oh, yeah.
you are well rested. You're not thinking about work. You're not thinking about, anything that has to do with a job because
Mhm,
the baby is going to have your baby. I mean, have your body feeling crazy,
mhm,
your nipples leaking, your head like
mhm,
you're still healing from birth. It
mhm,
takes time. So I would definitely say, like, you just got to take it easy on yourself
mhm.
and just I can't really, it's really when you have support, it's hard to give people
Yeah,
who don't have support because I don't know what it's like. Like I have my mom, I have
yeah,
help, I have my sister. So I don't want to be like, she not gonna understand.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like
No,
for
for
real though, I
sure.
would definitely say like definitely take it day by day. It's
Mhm.
all new. You're going to
Yeah.
learn some things. It was some things I didn't know that I could even do or like was
Mm.
aware of things that would happen with babies. Like I'm like, why my baby got a rash? Why he got this? So it's all like a learning experience. Don't beat yourself up over things you
Yeah.
don't know. I was using Google and Facebook like a mug trying to
Okay.
figure out why my baby face breaking out. Why you got this? Why you got that? Like it's just all. And I'm a first time mom. The next baby, I'm not gonna have to do all that because
Oh
I
no,
done been
you
through it.
won't, because
Yeah.
like it's that commercial when it's like the ladies at the, I think the lady, the first baby, she's like giving everybody hand sanitizer, and then the second baby, she's at the, I remember she's like at the car auto shop or something, and she like hands the mechanic the baby to get something. I'm like, yeah, it really is like that. The first baby
Yeah.
is like, the second baby is like, I'm a pro at this. Just yeah, my baby
Right.
gonna be good.
It's
So
all a learning experience. I would just say take it easy.
mhm,
Like, and some things that help me too, like I journal a lot. Like I write down my
mhm,
feelings, my thoughts. If I don't want to tell anybody, I'll write it down. I don't
mhm,
vent. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I can't vent to anybody, they're not gonna understand. I either do my journal, I do music, or I listen to podcasts. Something
mhm.
to get some me time, and
Yeah,
definitely try to get you some me time. I would say that
yeah.
as well, because being a mom, it's like you gotta do for the baby, you gotta do for the baby, you gotta do for the baby. But if you're able to get a day where you could just relax, oh my god, it felt so good for me to just take a hot bath by myself
Mm,
with the, with a wine
yeah.
glass and some, music, and just be
Yes.
relaxed.
Self-care. Yes.
So just self-care as well. Just make sure you
Yeah.
take care of yourself, because
Yeah. And I like how you said, try to create a plan beforehand. And I feel like even when you said, you had that support system, like try to find some type of tribe, I believe would be a nice like advice for somebody, something, even if it's a program where you can get that support from somebody, like to
yeah,
have when you're on this journey. Because like you said, you've never been where you have to like not have that, but there are people that have. And but there are so many support systems out there that you can create on your own, or those organizations that are there for you. And so don't feel like discouraged, or don't feel like you ashamed for having to reach out to somebody that might not be who you're normally connected to get that support, because you definitely need some type of tribe when you are going
absolutely.
to
Woo,
having
yes.
a child. So even if you're married, I feel like my sister be like, listen, I got my husband, but I still need y'all too.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
yes. So talking about business, since we're on there, so let's talk about, first of all, I love that your name came from your nickname in college. That's
Yeah.
so dope. I would have never thought that, but that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about now, because you have Luxury Studios is the business.
hmm
Okay, and then your Instagram, you have two, Young Lux.
Young Luxury, my personal, and then
Yes,
Luxury Studios, my business.
yes. So tell me, like, where did you always want to be in branding, or like, how did that all come about?
So it's crazy because when I was a kid, my dad would leave us at my grandma's house with no internet. Grandma didn't know nothing about the internet. And I would always, but we always had computers. So I would always like go into like the interface of computers. I would learn how to, it was the software on here where you could build websites. So I used to spend a lot of my time trying to build websites. And I'm like, oh, I like this. And ever since then, I've been like on it. And that was from
Wow.
when I was like 7, 8, learning how to
Wow.
do stuff like that. Yeah. So I would do stuff like that, and then I would take like certain design classes. I didn't take marketing until I got to college because funny story, I wanted to go to Florida for college, but it wasn't
Mm,
HBCU. I wanted to go
mhm.
to this I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to make animations for like cartoons and stuff because I was like
Okay.
into like art and design. I wanted to, at least if I wasn't drawing them people, I wanted to edit them, put them together, make them talk. Like I want to do something. So I wanted to go to this college in Florida. It's called Ringling College or something like
Okay.
that. But it was just like too far, and it was not, and it was just like I wanted to still be at HBCU because it
Mhm.
wasn't an HBCU, and that was big for me. So
Mhm.
I went to a HBCU. I didn't know too much about, what to pick, whatever. So I did marketing. I'm like, well, marketing sounds like something I would do. So I went to marketing. But let me back up. Before I even went to college, I did classes at Villa in my high school for art, textile. I did pottery. I did some sort of thing. I did graphic
Mhm.
design class where I did Photoshop, where I'm learning how to make cereal boxes, make flyers, I'm talking all type of stuff. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I like to do. Like I like to design, I like to put concepts together. And then from there, I went to college, did
Mhm.
marketing, still did design. But when COVID had came, I was 2016 is when I went in. COVID hit 2020. And in between time, I was still working on my design business, but I wasn't as serious because I was so into marketing. I was doing like marketing competitions, doing marketing internships and all of that. But I still had an eye for design. I was still doing like little projects on the side, like business cards and little flyers. And when I look back, I'm like, oh, it was ugly. Like, oh, the growth. But
Growth.
literally,
I was gonna say growth.
years. When I tell y'all, it takes years of this stuff. That's why I be going so hard about brand and brand strategy, because I've been through it. Like from the time I was before I even got to college, like I know what it takes to look like a business, feel like a business, grow a business. Like I know all of that. Like I studied all of that for years. So yeah, I just decided like I just like design. I like
I
marketing, but
love it.
they didn't have I wanted to do graphic design, but they didn't have graphic design at the time. So I did marketing. And I fell in love with marketing too, because it's basically it ties in with branding. So marketing and branding tie in together. Branding comes first, but then marketing is like with branding. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Yes.
I like both. I did both.
I love it. I love it. That is beautiful. And I am so intrigued by like all that stuff too. Like I used to love doing like slideshows and all that stuff. That's why reels, I love making a reel. Okay. Like I love putting it together. My sister always goes, "You've always loved that type of stuff." But I love that. And I feel like being a Black woman, I don't personally see that a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, besides social media, but like somebody close, like it's like somebody close in close range. It's like there's not a lot of people that like Black women that I've seen do graphic designing or and branding and things like that. So
Yeah.
I just think that's a cool thing that you were able to get into that field. So I want to know, like, tell me about Luxury Studios. What do you offer? What's something that like you really like to help with?
So I would say, right? So Luxury Studios is like two branches now, right? Because it's like I have the design agency. So let me tell you about the vision, the future that I see for
Okay.
Luxury Studios. So Luxury Studios will be a full. I was smart when I named it, because I didn't want to name it Luxury Graphics, Luxury Logos, Luxury. I wanted to name it Luxury Studios for a reason, because I wanted a studio.
Yes.
And in the studio, I want it all in house. So I wanted you to be able to get retainers. I want you to be able to get my baby scared me. I want you to be able to get your pictures done, your creative direction, your like
Yes.
logo. I wanted everything in house. So that's still the vision, but I don't want to be the one doing all of that, because I learned that people in business, they want the fancy stuff first, but they don't know about the brand strategy part to even get to that stuff. So that's why I said, okay, I want to do coaching as well, because I can't just send people here and make them want to look pretty and they don't really know or understand what being a brand is. So it's kind of like I do brand coaching and speaking engagements on the side as me, my personal brand, Jzakaala Luxury Studio. I still tie in Luxury Studios though, because it's my company. And then the design work, I got retainers, websites, brand identities, which are like logos and things, business cards, all of that to make you look pretty. But if you need brand coaching, you come talk to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll get you right.
Yeah.
She didn't even scratch the surface with helping me, but the way she's giving me so far, I'll be like, I tell you all this, I'm like, I still gotta send you your gift. Don't worry. I have not forgotten. Okay. But like, listen, she will get you right. Like I know firsthand, like I am always like, oh, her stuff is just so clean. And you can tell her personality through it. And it's just like, so I feel like my personality, she's helped me pull my personality out. And I still got to get work on more. But if you are not, like, just a plug, like if you are not following Jzakaala, I highly recommend. And I put all her information in the show notes, and I will in the show notes when I upload this to like Spotify. But for somebody who wants to start a business, what is some advice you would like to, you would want to share with them?
Oh, well, girl, what kind of business you want to start? I would say that, because it's so many different aspects of starting a business, it's hard to just say like one. I would say the most important thing to start a business though is to you got to have a purpose. Like you got to understand what your purpose is for, because if you go in trying to build a business that you're not really sure about, or you don't really know, or you're not going to want to do it for the long run, and
Mhm.
once the money is not coming, you're going to be miserable. So I definitely
Mhm.
say, definitely find purpose in whatever it is you do. And a lot of times people are like, well, how do I find my purpose? How do I know if this is what I want to do? You test. And I say that as well, like write down some things that you like to do that you can make money from.
Mhm.
Like what are some passions that you like to do? Do you like to draw? Do you like art? Do you like what are some things even like that you like to talk about? Because you can come up with different business ideas from things that you like to do. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I would just say test different things and just experiment, because when I started Luxury Studios, I didn't always start Luxury Studios. I had a lash line. I had luxury lashes, and it was fun. And I started that in college. It was fun. It was successful, but it wasn't. I like to do it, but I wasn't passionate about it to where I wanted to keep
Mhm.
doing it. It was good for money. It was, you know what I'm saying? And people still, when I tell you I still got lashes, people like, girl, give up the lashes. Like, I need
Let
to
it
sell
go,
them because
child.
what the hell? But it's not anything that I'm super passionate about anymore. I just feel like at the time it was just something to make money. I was at first, but as I'm growing and got older, it's like not anymore. So I
Mhm.
definitely recommend that if you're wanting to start a business, make sure it's something you're passionate about. And then it doesn't have to be your first business. You don't have to get it right away.
Yeah.
Like you can have 3 to 4 businesses. I won't recommend it, but you can have 3 to 4 businesses before you to figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. I see a lot of people, they try different things until they figure out, okay, I want to do this, or I
Yeah.
love doing this. And then they get serious about that one thing, and then they make themselves known for that one thing. So I say
Yeah, that's
purpose.
facts. And you saying that, like, fine, like you're being passionate. Like, I always tell people that because I'm like, I had a gift basket business, and that was really like my sister was like, hey, like you really like doing gift baskets, because I do. I love creating, like if somebody's having, I just made one for my dad for a raffle he did, and like for birthdays and stuff like that. But I was not passionate about it, and it fell
Mm-hmm.
through. Like it was
Yeah.
called Divine Party Creations, okay? And I was like, I no, this isn't for me. And so
Right.
I stopped. But like Divinely Crowned, listen, I
Mm-hmm.
wholeheartedly believe in this brand, and I believe like everything I'm doing, I'm supposed to do. And the
And
money
you know
might
what?
not be coming in the way I want to right now, but I know I have faith that like you said, your baby gonna be rich. You're gonna be rich. I'm gonna be rich. Like I know that one day it's gonna be like
And I
more
feel
than I
like
even
too
imagine.
that it's more, see, our businesses, I want to say this as well, our businesses are not centered around us. Our businesses are centered around helping other people
Yes.
grow. So I feel
Yes.
like that's why when you're able to see how you're changing somebody's life, like you
Mhm.
with the confidence coaching, and then
Yeah.
me, like I'm helping people make money in their business, I'm helping
Mhm.
them, find clarity in who they are. Same with you, it's a different
Mhm.
feeling, so it gives you more drive. Like when
Yes.
somebody comes and say, oh my gosh, Jzakaala, or oh my gosh, you've been like, you changed my life, like you made, like I didn't think it was possible, or
Yeah.
that, you feel good about that. You're like,
Yes.
wow, like I'm changing somebody's life one day at a time. Like
Yeah.
working with different people, that's different. That's a different feeling. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's why we keep going as well, because we see
Mhm.
what it's doing for other
The
people.
impact.
It's not
Yes.
just a business
So
around
true.
us.
So true. Yeah. And that's why I tell people, like, I know during the pandemic everybody was starting these businesses, and I'm like, listen, I know it sounds good right now, but what happens when this money runs out, these PPP like you have got to, it has to be for a true purpose as to what you're doing, because if not, it will fall and you will be like, I give up, or you will be so discouraged, or like feel like you're failing, which there's lots of times I'm like, I feel like I'm failing, but I keep going because, you, like you said, the impact you see on people, like working with my clients and hearing like, Davina, I would not be this way if it wasn't for you. And I'm just like,
Right.
wow, like I know that I can't give up on myself or them. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely have the purpose. Purpose is everything. Mm,
Absolute.
yes. So speaking of confidence, I
Mm-hmm.
always like to ask a few specific questions during my podcast, and one being, with you saying like, you always knew you were that girl and all these things, which I love. What does confidence look like to you?
I would say loving yourself and loving what, like, I just, it's just a loving yourself. Once
Hmm.
you love yourself, you're gonna have confidence. But it's hard because like at a point in time, I didn't always like. I'm not gonna say like I knew deep inside I wasn't that girl, but we all have our days where we like, I don't know. Especially with my face getting breaking out, I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's just about like it's an inner thing. Like you gotta remind yourself who you are, and where you're going, who you want to be. Like I always tell myself, like I'm not going to be. I instill the confidence inside myself because I'm always saying words, or I'm, always training my mind to think positively. Like you that girl, this is you gonna have your dream life, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, like you're smart, you do this. And then I've had like my grandparents tell me they're proud of me my whole life, I'm smart. Like I've had people instill things in me that sometimes you don't always see in yourself, and then people are telling you like, oh, like no, like you're great. Like so definitely like words of affirmation, loving on yourself, and just taking the time to get to know you. I say definitely that's it's you the confidence, like it's you, like you just it's you gotta find it. It's not easy for everybody because people go through different things, but I start by telling myself, hey, look, even when I'm down, like, hey, look, you had a bad day, but you still that girl. You still gotta, you know what I'm saying? Things are still great. And then like I always say, like, listening to positive podcasts, positive music, like just being around positive energy. Like if I'm down, I'm feeling ugly about myself, I'm not about to be around somebody or around a bad environment, around people who don't care about themselves, because now I don't care.
Right. You are the company you like, keep. Okay.
Yeah, like you just keep your environments fresh and be surrounded around good people as well. That rubs off on you too.
Yeah, that's so true. And that's good. Like even you saying listening to like podcasts and things, like I feel like we have so many great resources. I mean, including the ebook digital bundle I have.
Yes,
shameless plug. But I'm saying we have so many more resources now, I feel like, than maybe back then, that people, you can go right on the internet, you can listen to podcasts, you can go on YouTube. I'm feeling this way in like get that in you, those positive things into your spirit. So like those resources are good. And like if you aren't in a place that, if you're not able to come to me, even though you should come to me for it, because I'm gonna keep right with your confidence, but like having those resources is so important when you're on that confidence journey, for sure. So I love it. I love your version of confidence. So another question I always like to ask is, what would you tell at just now 25, what would you tell young Jzakaala?
Girl, don't move out your parents' house. I'm just kidding.
I agree.
Listen, I would tell my 7-year-old self to start saving for a house right now.
Wow.
The market is crazy. No, seriously, I would just say that probably just I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't know. Probably just like keep going, because I know like I keep going now, but it's different. Like if I my son,
I love it.
in the back, I would tell her not to have kids. No. I don't know. That's really a hard question. Can I flip it back? What would you tell yourself? Like, this is a hard one. You laid
I would definitely, it would definitely be that like your flaws are beautiful, and that everybody it has some type of insecurity, like, and you are a great person. Like I definitely, and it's funny because I there's so many things that I probably would, so many conversations I would have with myself, and I have had with myself, my younger self, and it's just like, there is no reason you should be insecure. You are amazing, and you have to see it. People have always seen it in me. Like I've always had like this, people have been attracted to me, but like, it's like, yeah, Divina, like you have a light and you need to just keep shining. So yeah, that's what I would tell myself if I thought of it right now off the top. Like, don't put me on the spot. This is about you.
It was hard.
I know. Yes. But you answered it. Listen, keep going. And I feel like that's an important thing, because sometimes a lot of younger kids, I mean, suicide rates are higher than ever now. And it's like, listen, keep going. Yes, you may feel this way, but just keep pushing through that pain. Keep pushing through that doubt. Like, you got this. I believe in you. Like, telling yourself those things. Like, I feel like, so keep going is a good thing to tell young Jzakaala.
Okay, cool.
So I always like to leave the floor, the throne. One day I'm gonna have my own throne chairs and like everybody gonna have to come with me, okay? But I always like to leave the throne for you to share anything you wish, like, oh, I wish you would have said that, or oh, I should have said this. Like, is there anything you want to say before I let you go?
I don't know. Well, if you need to brand your business, you know who to call. No, I just
say that.
No, for real though, this was a great conversation. This was a lovely podcast. Thanks for having me for one.
Thank you.
And definitely, I want to say that if you have any fear regarding anything that you want to do, for anybody who's listening, any fear regarding anything, I just want to say you will never know until you act on it. This goes for anything. So a lot of people come to me and they're like, I'm scared. I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know if I should, even start a business or do brand, or just anything in their life they're scared of. You will never know until you try. Okay. I would have never knew how good Luxury Studios is going to be if I didn't try, if I didn't quit my job at that Amazon warehouse in 2020, because I would have still been working at Amazon. So you never know until you try. And you cannot let people who don't understand the vision or don't understand the dreams or never even try to accomplish what you're trying to do stand in your way. So I just want to leave off with that.
That's good. That's good. And speaking of podcasts, you do have one too. So go ahead and plug that in, because you get all the brand juices over there. So go ahead and plug that in.
Hey. God, he's drawing on my couch. Okay. Anyway, so I have a podcast called the Brand Boost Podcast. Okay, it's on Spotify and Apple Music, and we also have an Instagram page. It's at the Brand Boost Podcast, and the Brand Boost Podcast just gives free value on branding. I'm talking about mindset, entrepreneurship. I'm gonna start doing interviews, and you gotta come on mine now. So I just talk about things to have on your website, branding, anything, entrepreneurship. It's a good time over there. I keep it real and raw. So no.
Yes, real raw. Yes. I was like, oh wait, we got to plug that in too. Yeah. So, yes. Well, I always like to give my flowers, and I know I've given them a few times in this episode, but Jzakaala, I just want to say thank you, not just for being on this podcast, but for also like just all the support you've been giving me lately. Like, I tell you all the time, I appreciate you and just everything. I appreciate you so much. I can't wait to, I have so many things I want to do. So you're going to have to come to Erie. I know you don't really care for Erie, but you're going to have to come.
I'm actually coming next month. Maybe we got to get together.
Yes, for sure. Yes, this is a friendship that has to come off the social media. Okay?
Yeah.
But yes, just keep doing what you're doing. I can't wait to see how you continue to grow and just impact so many businesses. You guys, I'm telling you, if you are looking for somebody to help you with your brand, reach out. She's awesome. And I'm telling you, I know firsthand. So, so I'm going to click you off and then wrap up, and then I'll get back on real quick so I can.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Yes. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for those who tuned in. I'm actually happy that I'm finally starting to do podcasts again, because I have missed it. There's so much I'm working on right now. I'm actually going to probably do another episode eventually for myself, but I want you guys to know actually that now Wednesdays will be my podcast days. I have so much other things with Divinely Crown'd going on, so I want to make sure that I'm being consistent. So you will see a new episode prayerfully every Wednesday. And so thank you again for those who tuned in and those who will tune in later. Remember, right now I have my digital bundle out. So check that out if you are in need of some inspiration and some encouragement for confidence as we're going into this love summer. Make sure you continue to connect with Divinely Crowned. I have, like I said, so many things going on, and also coaching. If you are looking for a confidence coach, holler at me, DM me, reach out. I know that people sometimes are hesitant to start like life coaching and confidence coaching, but I got you. Just ask my other clients so far. Like, it's been a beautiful journey to watch my clients grow. And I want to be on that journey with you, because we all deserve to be the most confident versions of ourselves in all aspects of our life. So if you are interested in confidence coaching, reach out. You can reach out on my social media or contact at DivinelyCrown'd.com. All right, guys. And before I go, TJ Ties, my favorite DJ, he said, beautiful, sis. Thank you, bro. But all right, guys, until next time, remember, you are divinely crowned.